Bobby Whitlock passed away in his Texas home. He was a key writing collaborator for Eric Clapton and one of the founding members of Derek and the Dominoes. Today, we learned of the passing of vocalist and pianist Bobby Whitlock. In 1970, Whitlock assisted Eric Clapton in forming Derek and the Dominoes, a blues rock group. He died in his house in Texas. He was 77. After years of silence, Clapton abruptly opened up about their connection shortly after, which created quite a stir in the music industry. The passing of an artist is not only a sad event, but it also marks a significant turning point in the development of the well-known album Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs. Following almost 50 years of songwriting and performing together, the two's tumultuous past has suddenly surfaced, exposing previously unreported details. According to Eric Clapton, Bobby Whitlock's passing was an irreplaceable loss. As soon as the news came to pass, he gave his final wishes and commented on his Facebook page that Whitlock was a great friend. According to Clapton, "I will always miss his voice and spirit. We had moments that I will never forget." After hours of silence, the brief but unambiguous statement brought an end to the protracted silence surrounding their relationship. Clapton hardly ever discussed the former members of Derek and the Dominoes in public before Whitlock's passing. According to someone who knows Clapton well, he had been deeply worried about Whitlock's condition during the latter weeks of his life. Even though they hadn't collaborated on music in years, they continued to communicate via making private phone calls. Clapton was aware of Whitlock's progress since his early years at Stax and prior to his involvement in the Dominoes' founding. "We went through the best and the worst together, and I'm always proud to have Bobby by my side," he said. Eric Clapton and Bobby Whitlock discovered a unique musical connection that united them when they joined Derek and the Dominoes. Since their time touring with Delaney and Bonnie, they have been together. By combining Whitlock's rich voice and organ skills with Clapton's deep guitar playing, they soon developed their own sound. People constantly exchanged ideas throughout these meetings, and the recording was completed in a matter of days. Songs like "Why Does Love Got to Be So Sad" and "Bell Bottom Blues" were created. This collaboration resulted in Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs, one of Clapton's most well-regarded albums. But throughout the recording process, conflicts that had been simmering beneath the songs surfaced. Clapton and Whitlock began arguing about the direction of the music. The band's operations were altered when Duane Allman joined. He increased the pressure on the other players and contributed fresh ideas. Everyone was worn out from the lengthy sessions and strict plans, which made the studio tense. The songs were still completed to a very high standard after Layla was finished, but the bond continued to be put to the strain. Although the Dominoes' live performances demonstrated their good rapport, behind-the-scenes issues with money, travel, and personal issues began to hinder their ability to collaborate. Whitlock and Clapton frequently argued when they spoke, primarily about what songs to play and how to arrange them, according to a band friend. Nevertheless, they collaborated long enough to complete the tour and a few other unfinished projects. Whitlock surrendered the rights to the songs he had written with others after the Dominoes split up. It was a significant but contentious decision, and years later, Clapton ensured Whitlock received financial support. Whitlock attested, "Eric made sure I was never left out." These remarks demonstrate their mutual regard despite their rivalry. In the early 2000s, fans witnessed a unique occurrence when Clapton and Whitlock reunited on television for later. Together with Jules Holland, "Hey." When they performed Bell Bottom Blues, they both felt comfortable about themselves and collaborated effectively. Even though it didn't result in a long-term collaboration, people viewed this incident as evidence that Clapton and Whitlock could get along well enough to perform together once more. They maintained contact throughout the ensuing years through private conversations and sporadic meetings. They continued to love music and celebration, even if they no longer wrote or recorded together. Because of this link, Clapton felt a great deal of sympathy for Whitlock's passing. Whitlock and Clapton's collaboration in the Dominoes is regarded by many as one of the decade's most intriguing rock collaborations. In addition to providing Clapton with a voice that complemented his own, Whitlock added nuance and warmth to the recordings. Whitlock, who is loud and strong, and Clapton, who is quiet and introverted, were the ideal couple who got along great until business got in the way. They came together, started the band, went through a lot of writing and recording, broke up, and then got back together for a short time. They have a conflicted and respectful story. These relationships are generally long-lasting. Furthermore, the fact that Clapton voiced his disapproval of Whitlock's departure demonstrates that their past issues have never diminished the significance of their work together. Bobby Whitlock was born in 1948 into a struggling household in Memphis, Tennessee. Growing up in a musically rich environment exposed him to gospel, soul, and blues music at a young age. Whitlock got the exceptional opportunity to join Stax Records through its hip subsidiary when he was still a young man. He was signed to Stax Records as the first white vocalist. Even though it was a modest beginning, his first studio work consisted of basic backing tracks, such as the hand claps on Sam and Dave's I Thank You. This helped him get into the music industry. At Stax, Whitlock collaborated with some of Memphis's top musicians and artists. Working in this environment taught him about beat, harmony, and how to organize a successful recording session. He began to develop his approach on the Hammond organ, which would come to represent his career, despite only appearing as a guest on a few tracks. In 1968, Whitlock moved from Memphis to Los Angeles in search of better opportunities. He joined the up-and-coming soul rock group Delaney and Bonnie there. After joining, Whitlock's role in the group increased. Along with writing songs with the other members, he played the organ and performed lead vocals. When Clapton joined the group on a European tour in 1969, they first crossed paths here. They hit it off musically right away, which paved the way for their future collaborations. In addition to the recordings with Delaney and Bonnie, Whitlock was invited to participate in additional significant sessions. In 1969, he attended John Lennon's Christmas performance in London. In the early 1970s, George Harrison collaborated with many well-known vocalists on his album All Things Must Pass. By doing these activities, Whitlock strengthened his reputation as a versatile performer and expanded his network within the Anglo-American music community. Following the Blind Faith project in 1970, Clapton and Whitlock started collaborating more as he searched for a new direction. Alongside Jim Gordon and Carl Rattle, they were members of Derek and the Dominoes. Working with strong bands like Delaney and Bonnie, Whitlock contributed his Memphis soul and expertise to the ensemble. Whitlock and Clapton created the powerful and soulful sound that is the Dominoes' characteristic sound when they performed. Together, Whitlock was much more than just a backing singer and pianist. He contributed both the lyrics and the melodies to many of the group's most well-known songs. These factors distinguished the Dominoes from other blues rock bands of the Bite era and contributed to their rise to fame as a band. Clapton's ability to blend blues and soul has been cited by several of his pals as the reason the group's approach was so appealing. During the recorded sessions, Whitlock frequently played deep, rich chords that Clapton's guitar would play over. His talent to sing harmony complemented the lead vocals and added depth to the recordings. Whitlock, according to Dominoes members who recall this period, helped maintain the harmony of the group's tunes. Whitlock's presence increased the fervor on stage. In addition to Clapton, he sang lead on other songs, demonstrating his potential as a musical star. At the time, Whitlock was regarded as a singular musician rather than just Clapton's pianist. In his early career, Whitlock traveled from Memphis to Miami, Los Angeles, London, and back. He had the opportunity to collaborate with well-known individuals and gained new knowledge with every move. Not simply because they were well-known, he and Clapton were friends because they valued one another and shared a passion for blues and soul music. Whitlock was at the height of his creative abilities while the Dominoes were being formed. Many songs were completed in the studio, and Clapton and the other guys were always in sessions. The folks who collaborated created classics despite the occasionally hostile atmosphere. After playing a number of Stax, Delaney, and Bonnie songs, Whitlock joined the Dominoes. He brought with him a vibrant vocal style, compositional abilities, and multi-instrumental proficiency. Because of his excellent preparation, he soon established himself as a valuable member of the group. With Derek and the Dominoes, Bobby Whitlock went from being in stacks to being in the spotlight. He tells the tale of an artist who took chances and made the most of his background. This journey prepared him for the most significant period of his writing and recording career, which resulted in the album Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs, a landmark in music history. Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs was recorded at Criteria Studios in Miami from August to October 1970. The procedure was overseen by producer Tom Dow. With the original 4 members, it was Derek and the Dominoes' first and only production. On numerous tracks, Duane Allman joined them. Bobby Whitlock sang lead or backing vocals on many songs and played the piano and Hammond organ. He co-wrote 7 of the tracks on the LP. These include Thorn Tree in the Garden, Bell Bottom Blues, Tell the Truth, Any Day, Keep on Growing, and Why Does Love Have to Be So Sad? People enjoyed how the songs blended rock, deep melodies, and powerful blues in a way that made sense. One of the most remarkable aspects of Layla is its ending, also referred to as the conclusion. From the outset, a calm piano melody drastically alters the tone. Whitlock has discussed the origins of the coda and stated that he doesn't believe it aligns with the song's original concept. However, the song's ending remained in its final form and is now a well-known feature. The addition of Duane Allman to the band gave the album a fresh sound. You can hear Allman's use of the slide guitar to provide dramatic lines throughout the song Layla. Whitlock has praised Allman's talent and the closeness of Allman and Clapton's musical bond. This, he claimed, was what made the record unique. Although it wasn't a huge hit initially, Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs was undoubtedly a fine work of art. Not many people attended some of the performances that were held to promote the record, and it didn't sell particularly well. Nevertheless, reviewers soon recognized its quality, and by the end of the decade, the record was regarded as one of the best rock albums of the decade. There were other instances where the members collaborated effectively during the recording process. Many of the songs took a long time to complete since each member added to or altered the lyrics and melody to suit their individual ideas. Whitlock had worked at Stax, Delaney, and Bonnie, so he brought experience to the studio. He regulated each track's tempo and atmosphere and ensured that the harmonies were full. During this period, there were some internal conflicts in addition to the successes. The members' divergent artistic perspectives, hectic schedules, and the expectations of the record label occasionally made communication difficult. Whitlock and Clapton continued to collaborate to complete the record, but the cracks that had formed threatened the group's viability. Allman was unable to attend the entire recording session due to his commitments with the Allman Brothers Band. Some songs were therefore recorded with just the 4 original musicians. As a result, songs that were played with a lot of energy on slide guitar gave way to ones that were led by Whitlock on piano or organ and had a warmer, more intricate sound. The final track on the album is Whitlock's personal composition, Thorn Tree in the Garden. Compared to the livelier tunes that preceded it, the quiet finale featuring just guitar and vocals is a pleasant break. It demonstrates Whitlock's ability to evoke a wide range of emotions and how he gave the album depth. When singles like Bell Bottom Blues and Layla became well-known and beloved by people of all ages, the significance of Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs increased even further. Whitlock's efforts had a significant role in this achievement. The experiences Whitlock had while recording Layla, from writing the song to arranging and performing it, would forever alter his career. In the same sentence, it demonstrated his cunning and signaled the beginning of issues inside the band. Derek and the Dominoes were on the verge of disbanding shortly after the release of the record due to issues and tensions. Whitlock and Clapton's brief but fruitful partnership came to an end at this point. Fans' and critics' perceptions of Bobby Whitlock and Eric Clapton's friendship were altered by the Layla and Other Assorted Love Songs tale. From a huge hit to a falling out, it changed. The work demonstrated their greatest level of compatibility and marked the beginning of significant group changes. The release of Layla and other assorted love songs put Derek and the Dominoes under a lot of strain. The lengthy travel schedule and the silent arguments had worn the members out. By May 1971, the group had broken up. Bobby Whitlock began establishing himself after leaving the project he was working on with Eric Clapton. His debut single, Bobby Whitlock, received positive reviews and peaked at number 140 on the Billboard charts. In the same year, he released Raw Velvet, which peaked at number 190. With these two albums, Whitlock demonstrated his ability to play independently as an instrumentalist and singer-songwriter. He also unknowingly provided instrumental backings for the Rolling Stones' Exile on Main Street record at this period. Whitlock then released Rock Your Socks Off and One of a Kind during the following few years. Despite their poor sales, they demonstrated his unique musical flair. He experimented with different song structures while retaining the soul and blues elements that made him renowned with the Dominoes. He kept recording and performing as much as he could, while collaborating with numerous other musicians. Whitlock performed fewer public appearances in the late 1970s and early 1980s. Due to his personal life and modest projects, he was unable to attend many important events. Although he didn't appear on TV or the charts as frequently as he once did, he remained in contact with many of his friends and colleagues in the industry. Whitlock didn't come out until he began appearing in a few niche programs in the late 1990s. His distinct voice and energetic playing style were evident in these performances. Whitlock and Clapton appeared together on the television program, later in 2000. Jules Holland and Hey Hey, performing Bell Bottom Blues in front of an audience, because it was the first time the two had collaborated in public since the Dominoes split up. It was a huge deal. Following that brief meeting, Whitlock continued working independently and didn't collaborate with Clapton on any other projects for a while. He switched to less demanding occupations, concentrating on writing by himself and collaborating with other independent artists. Smaller shows and project-style records allowed him to continue the music without the pressures of his Dominoes heyday. Whitlock also began to take an interest in subjects other than music during this period. He worked on other artistic endeavors and spent more time with his family. His fans still regarded his solo work as fantastic and authentic to his musical identity, despite the fact that it wasn't as well known as his Clapton days. Whitlock is no longer in the picture, but those who have worked with him know how vital he is. His solo work and smaller collaborations demonstrate his commitment to music and his ability to strike a balance between his personal and professional lives. Bobby Whitlock focused more on his personal life and a few artistic endeavors throughout the 2000s. They collaborated for a while after he married singer-songwriter Coco Carmel. In order to continue creating music without having to travel far or deal with pressure from record labels, they collaborated to write songs, record albums, and perform small gigs. With this mix, Whitlock was able to continue to communicate with his devoted audience and create music in the manner that he desired. Whitlock also made music and drew for a while. In 2018, he started creating surreal art as an additional means of expressing his thoughts and feelings. His works have been shown in a few small exhibits, and those who have seen them have expressed satisfaction. He now finds a way to balance being creative and taking breaks thanks to this creative endeavor, which has become a significant part of his life. In 2025, Whitlock developed cancer, which rapidly deteriorated his health. Even though his illness was getting worse quickly, he kept in touch with friends and did some artistic things until he could no longer. Bob Whitlock died at his home in Texas early in the morning of August 10, 2025. He was 77. This information was corroborated by manager Carol Kay, who also told us briefly that he had died after a time of fighting the ailment. Coco Carmel expressed her feelings for her life partner and singing partner in a heartfelt farewell post on Facebook. Our dear friend Bobby Whitlock has passed away at 77, R.I.P. Bobby. Eric Clapton posted the news on his official Facebook page that same day, marking the passing of the first generation of Derek and the Dominoes members. This was the first time Clapton had discussed Whitlock's passing in public, and it received a lot of attention. Whitlock's passing marks the end of a 50-year musical career. He has left behind timeless records, beloved songs by listeners of all ages, and a performer who has remained loyal to his own sound. From his work with Stax Records and Clapton to his collaborations with Coco Carmel, Whitlock has demonstrated the ability to bounce back and collaborate with many musicians at various points in the music industry. Whitlock was more than just a colleague to Clapton. He was a key player in one of the most innovative periods of his career. Clapton's succinct and straightforward account of his passing demonstrates the significance of Whitlock to both his musical and personal life. Bobby Whitlock is remembered as a brilliant musician, a soulful vocalist, and an imaginative lyricist. It is evident that his music has endured over time since his songs, such as Thorn Tree in the Garden and Bell Bottom Blues, are still performed at events, on the radio, and in fan collections. If this video helps you learn more about Bobby Whitlock and his work, please like and share it. To view more music stories, you can ALS.